President Biden has accused social media of killing people by letting users spread false claims about supposed dangers of COVID-19 vaccinations.
Major companies like Facebook have denied culpability, and they hit back hard. Here to help us make sense of this verbal sparring is Peter Shankman. He is the authority on social media and marketing. Peter, great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be back again, guys.
So, Peter, let's take a look at Facebook's response to President Biden. So they say more than 2 billion people have viewed authoritative information about COVID-19 and vaccines on Facebook. Peter, even if that is true, has Facebook, in your opinion, done enough to counter these anti-vaccine posters?
They really haven't. It's the equivalent of hitting someone with your car and saying, but look at all the people I didn't hit.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't be hitting anyone with your car. The fact of the matter is that Facebook does deserve a lot of the blame. It would be very, and they do remove blatantly obvious posts, but so much of their algorithms are tied to getting you to see similar things that you've already looked at, right? They know what you like, they know where you hang out online, they know what sites you're visiting, they know what ads you want to click, and their primary job is to give you more of that because that's how they make money. They can show you ads. And if you go down that rabbit hole with finding one vaccine myth or one conspiracy theory and you look at another one, it's going to, they're not doing it to deliberately show you that. They're doing it to deliberately show you what you like to see. And so it becomes very hard to pull yourself away from it because you're lost in this echo chamber, which is by design. And that might work great if you're only selling, but it's a big problem when you get down that rabbit hole.
So I guess, I ignore a lot of the misinformation that's on social media. So in your experience, Peter, what are then the most significant falsehoods about the vaccine that you are seeing and reading that are being perpetrated on social media?
Well, I mean, obviously, the clear ones are staring you right in the face. You're not going to get microchipped. There's no one's tracking you from injecting a vaccine into your body. The problem is that much like the virus itself, ironically, the myths and the conspiracy theories take on variants of their own, right? So it was originally just, it's a government plot. Well, then it became a government plot in conjunction with Bill Gates, and then that became, and so it keeps going and going.
Right.
And the irony of everyone saying that, I don't want to be followed or tracked. You're posting this from a device that does all of that. So the best thing that people can do if they really are scared, ask your primary care physician.
Well, yeah, but
if that's the one person you have a relationship with, that doctor that might span 30 years, he's not going to lie to you. He's not on payroll.
But yes, some people just are still going to believe what they want to believe, right? Because they believe and take social media as doctrine. But that brings the question: is there anything that can be legally done against people who are posting vaccination lies either by the government or the social media platforms themselves, or is it kind of under the First Amendment and free speech?
Well, and that's a very gray area. I mean, there's a lot that can be done, and to their credit, Facebook and specifically Twitter and Instagram are doing a good job of banning people who are spreading blatant lies. They ban them. The problem is, you can ban me and I'll just come back and create a new account tomorrow, right? And over time, that account will gain the same following. So it's a constant cat and mouse game. The issue really becomes stopping the spread, stopping a post. Once a post gets a certain amount of likes, Facebook's and Instagram's algorithms say, okay, that's a popular post, let's promote it more. The key is shutting off those algorithms so that when 50 people see that fake news post or that post that says, vaccines are, will turn you into a frog or whatever, that it doesn't then gain popularity and all of a sudden get 30,000 shares and 50,000 shares and 100,000 shares. The key is to change the algorithms so they're stopped at the beginning. Legally, it is difficult to regulate that, and it's hard to regulate free speech in that regard. It's our First Amendment right. But it also is the responsibility of the companies that are making billions off of this to stand up and say we can't do it this way anymore because people are dying.
Right. And Peter, when we break down the algorithms, and the science behind it, we're seeing these malicious posters really trying hard here to obfuscate the content. Some of them even using code and dance terminology instead of words that would be flagged on the social media sites. When do we now volley the responsibility back to the user to use their own discretion to research the content that they are intaking? Or do you have any tips on how they can better assess whether what they're seeing is fact or is false?
That's the biggest problem. That's always been the biggest problem because, back in the day, 50 years ago, you get a piece of information from someone in a sewing circle, you had it. You couldn't actually do anything with it right away. Maybe you talk to your doctor about it, go do something else. Now, it's simply a click of a forward. And this, we were talking about this back when COVID Remember the Save the Girls from Coney campaign, and people were forwarding pictures of Morgan Freeman saying that he was some horrible dictator, right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very easy. The best thing you can do is to anything you read, assume it's false until you're proven otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
The Mayo Clinic has a wonderful, wonderful website. MayoClinic.org has a wonderful website on COVID-19 vaccine guidance from the Mayo Clinic. Are they why do you do it? Are they safe? What are the effects? Do they protect? Can kids get it? What should I believe in it? Ask
Peter,
your doctor. Don't click immediately.
Yeah, we're almost out of time here, and this can go to anything, right? It's not just the COVID vaccine. There's so much misinformation on any topic, and you just go back to the elections and what was being put out there during that as well. So, Peter,
don't believe it immediately.
So let me ask you this, because it seems like you post a video to something, say it has music in it. They have no problem immediately flagging that, taking that down immediately because of a copyright issue. The White House, they want social media to act faster. We're almost out of time here, but do these social media agencies have units that are in charge of doing this and just not acting quick enough?
Yes, they do, and they can act quicker. Music is an algorithm that's computerized. It's harder when I say words for the system to understand that, but it's getting better. They can auto-question now. It is getting better. So the technology is there. It's more about the companies putting it into play.
Understood. Peter Shankman, appreciate you and your expertise, social media marketing and branding. Maven, always good to have you on the program.
Yes.
You do that.
Thank you.